Hey guys, welcome to Outlaw Edge. So this is the sixth video, something like that, of Vigilante building the hand-built fenders for this car here. And what I'll do is I'll flip the camera around and show you where we're at. All right, so we're working on Vigilante this morning, and we're building this back fender here, and we are on this section right here, the front part of the fender. And the other day, I was showing the fender panel that I was building, and it was all beat up and hammered on and whatever, had hammer marks and stuff. And this is what it looks like after I ran it in the English wheel for a little bit. Got it clamped up, and then what I'm doing right now, oops, sorry about the crap camera work. I'm gonna start trimming, so I'll mark this on the back side so that this is set up for TIG welding, so I can TIG weld these seams together so I can metal finish everything and make it look perfect. And I hung this over, there's, on the stations right here, on each station you have this metal rod coming through here. There's one right here somewhere, like maybe an inch down. So I ran this about an inch over so that I can run this together so I can get behind it with a hammer and dolly and everything. And if you have to, it's easier just to cut this piece out, get it out of your way so you can hammer and dolly, you know, to finish the weld that's right here. But everybody does it their own way. I mean, this is how I do it. Working on getting these panels put on, and I think I'm gonna keep trimming and hammering on this till it's perfect. Got a couple flat spots, couple dents, low spots, high spots, whatever. Want to work on that. So the first thing first, I'll get everything trimmed and get it put back on here and fit it and see how it looks. And then I'll probably work on getting this gap so it sits flush on the table. It's sticking up just a little bit. So that's where we're at today. So what happened is I just realized it wasn't the panel, it was this, the fender buck pulled up off the table. So I'll go ahead and get that welded up real quick. So maybe the panel will fit nicer now that the fender buck is not lifted off the table. Lot better. There we go. Yeah, that's way better. So I got a little bit more shrinking to do right on these edges to bring this panel like this a little bit. And then what I'll do is I'll shrink this side just a little bit too. This one's not gonna be much, this one's gonna be a lot more to bring this around. But I'll get the camera set up over there at the shrinker stretcher and I'll show you what I'm doing. So I got the shrinker and stretcher and they're mounted on my English wheel. You guys have seen this before. And like I said, I want to just try to shrink this a little bit. You can see the shape of the panel right now. There's all kinds of different compound curves and everything else. It's turned out pretty nice. And I want to go this way with it. All right, that helped a lot right there. Running this this edge on the shrinker, and I shrunk it so that it pulled that tight. And what that does is when it pulls it tight, it kind of pulled this over just a little bit where I needed it to be. I clamped it back up, and then I'm checking all the gaps right now, and everything's touching. Hopefully you can see that in the camera. Everything's touching right on the form or the buck. And like right here, it's a little loose, but where am I at? But from the back side, it looks good. Everything's getting there, you know. I have a little bit of hammer and dolly work to do to keep it where it's sitting right on the buck. So what I'll do is I'll trim this. I'll mark this with a Sharpie on the back side. I'll get it trimmed so that it's ready to weld or whatever. And then what I'll do is I'll put it, you know, on my table, and I'll just hammer and dolly all these little high and low spots out. And I'll do that with a sanding block and probably use some Dykem spray. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I use the blue when I'm doing a lot of sheet metal work. You guys see me using this all the time, but I like to use the red. And this is steel red layout fluid. I use this for the panels when I'm doing sanding, trying to get them perfect so that they fit up real nice. So by the time I'm done, this whole damn fender will probably be red. And then when I run a flat block over the top of it, like right here, you can see a low spot. That needs to be hammered out a little bit. And most of this I'll do on the English wheel, and then any little low spots or high spots, I'll knock down the highs and then bring out the lows. So we'll keep working on that. All right, I got the edge trimmed off right here, and eventually we'll do like a, I don't know if we'll weld that or if I'll do like a, you know, wire bead edge or something. I'm not sure yet. This goes to the car, so don't need anything there. On this side, might do something, not really sure yet. We'll figure that out when we come to it. But it's fitting a lot better. But like I said, I got some flat spots and stuff in here, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this on the English wheel, clean it up, file all the edges a little bit better. I just hit them with the flap wheel on the sander, but it's fitting nice and whatever. A couple little high spots right here that I got knocked down, and I'll work on doing this on the beater bag and then hammer and dolly, and that's where I'm going now. There's a bunch of grit on the wheel right now. All I'm trying to do right now is just knock some of these highs and lows out of here. I got a low spot right there. And I don't have this pushing down really hard. I'm just doing it, you know, with slight pressure. I don't want to go and tweak the panel. All I'm trying to do is just knock down highs and lows. And if you're wondering why I keep spinning the wheel like that, it's just to get this started. If you try to jam it in here like this, sometimes it works, but you can screw up the end too. So. Woo, almost got my finger on that one. Got a pretty bad low spot right here, so no, don't go up there. So I'm trying to get that to raise a little. Smooth it out nice though. Most of it's gonna be probably hammer and dolly. All right, so the next step I'm gonna do is I'll put some earplugs in, and I'll start using, I have a heavyweight, this is a Harbor Freight slapper spoon, slapper dolly. Somebody will bitch about what I call it, it doesn't matter, I don't care. This one I made years ago out of a leaf spring. This one I really like, kind of a heavyweight. This is solid shaft here. And then this is a lightweight Martin a friend of mine gave us. And he also gave me these three dollies here, which are my three favorite. These are the Martins here, but they don't have to be high quality. I mean, you could take the cheap, cheaper ones, and they don't have to be Martin or Snap-on or nothing like that. You can take the cheaper ones and customize them and sand them and polish them and make them nice, make them work really good. And I really like this dolly here because it's got that little bit of a crown to it. You can get it in the spaces, and you got your corners and everything. Really nice one. And then I use a lot of different, everything from Harbor Freight hammers to Harbor Freight hammers hung on Snap-on handles. And like I said, somebody will bitch about that too, but I have Snap-on hammers, and each one of these are either flat or they have a crown on them. And it just depends on what part of the panel that I'm working on that I'll be, tapping out or tapping down or whatever. It really just depends on what I'm doing, what I prefer. So usually I grab everything that I know I'm gonna need for this panel, and pretty much all this crap right here, I'll end up using it one time or another. And then this little guy, this is a little lead-filled my big beater bag is sand filled, and that's from Eastwood. And then this one is lead filled. It's got lead shot in it, and this is from Tim the Tool Man on YouTube, a good friend of ours. I really appreciate it, man. Thanks, Tim. And I use this thing every single day. And a lot of times what I'll do is if I have a real bad low spot, I'll put it on the low spot on this side and I'll hammer from the other direction, and then it really helps out. So that's all I'll be doing right now. And then the next step, if I get it really close to where I'm really happy with it, then this is where, you know, the dents, or they say the blocks don't lie. I'll take a Durablock and some 80 grit, sandpaper, and the layout fluid, and I'll spray it on the whole panel. And then when I take that block, that Durablock, and I go right over the top of this a couple times, it'll literally just show you every single little dent, ding, high spot, low spot, everything. And that's what I'm working on now. So I got a real bad low spot right here. Try to pull that up a little bit with the English wheel, but it's I don't have to do it with the bag, the small beater bag. Kind of a pain in the ass. Sometimes you almost need like a jig to hold it, you know. And I'll use this is a rounding style hammer here. I don't know if you could see that in the camera. It's not flat compared to this one. There you go. Now you can see I use that Dicom layout fluid and I sprayed the whole panel. And then as soon as I start hitting this block with the 80 grit, I mean, every single little high spot, low spot, anything will show up. You know, and you think the panel looks nice, but then you kind of go over it one direction with this, and then it just looks like crap. So then those are all the highs and lows that you gotta beat out of here and clean up and hammer down and hammer up and whatever. See, like right there, I couldn't even see that one. There's a low spot. Not sure if you can see that in the camera. And then you can see all the hammered dents, marks. Now you can really see all the marks on here. So that's where I will, let me get these damn earplugs out. That's where I'm gonna sit and hammer and dolly until it's flawless, until I can use the DA sander and metal finish it, and then get it on the buck and start welding. And I want to do every panel like that, so I'll do each one in this stage. So I'm gonna get these damn gloves off real quick, give me a second. But as I'm going along, you know, doing this little series or whatever, I hope you guys enjoy all the little steps that a lot of people don't see, what goes into building a car by hand. And it doesn't matter if you're doing this with aluminum or stainless or whatever. You know, if you want it metal finished and perfect, these are the steps that anybody's gonna go through to make those panels nice. But anyways, I'll see you guys on the next video. I appreciate you watching. And on the next video, we're probably gonna be showing, you know, the hammer dolly and using the DA to finish out the panels, and then start building other panels on that fender buck to start forming the fender and getting everything welded on there and getting it metal finished and looking good. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Later.